Hey guys, what's up? It's Adam from GeekRest.com, and I'm here with Mr. Sam Humphries at New York City Comic Con.
Yeah.
And we've both been here for like an hour, and it's awesome.
Are you already dead?
No,
Are you
I'm
already feeling the effects? Come on, you got. It's
I'm
only an
feeling the
hour. You gotta be
effects.
pumped. It's Friday, day one. We gotta take this city by storm, this con by storm. It's gonna be amazing. There'll be 100,000 people here today.
There are gonna be 100,000 people here.
It's amazing.
And dude, I mean, I started talking to you a little bit a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that change in a year.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year for me, for sure. Yeah.
It was Our Love Is Real caught my attention, and then all of a sudden Sacrifice started coming out, and your name was coming up because you were pushing it so hard just yourself. And now your Marvel's, Uncanny X-Force coming up.
Yeah, very exciting.
Now, there's so many freaking questions I have. First, this is your Uncanny X-Force.
Yeah.
This team that you have together is such a wild card team. How much influence did you have in putting these characters together? Or was this something that was handed to you, or did you really just did you want these characters here?
It really is my team. Like, I really did put these characters together.
Right.
It's a collaborative process, but it was not given to me like, you have to write this book.
Right.
They're like, well, are you interested in Uncanny X-Force? And I said, absolutely. And so we want to build it around Psylocke. And I said, that's great, because I love Psylocke.
Right.
And she's a blast to write. And then beyond that, they're like, well, who else do you want? And we had a lot of discussions, threw in a lot of names. You can't get everyone you want. When you work at Marvel, it's a shared universe, so you kind of have to bargain. There's some characters I didn't get. There's some characters that I really wanted, and I had to steal away from other writers. I owe a lot of favors to a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
But it's very friendly, very easy process. It's fun, especially when you start talking to other writers about it, because they're like, oh, well, then you should do this, and we can bring that character back and do that.
Right.
And the more you talk about just the formulation of the team, the more you bounce ideas off each other and come up with a lot of crazy ideas that we get to do down the line. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And I gotta say, Storm with the Mohawk, she's coming back. Now look, I mean,
Mohawk is back.
Chris Claremont X-Men was like my thing growing up, and I'm just seeing some elements in here. Like, how many do you have a plan? Are there going to be, I know you can't say much, but are there a lot of like storylines from that era that you plan to revisit? Or
Yeah, it's a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B.
Right.
Uncanny X-Force has always been the X-Men book where you can do new and different and crazy things.
Yeah.
And that's what this book is going to be. This book is really going to earn the title Uncanny. Uncanny Avengers and Uncanny X-Men are hereby on notice, because I'm going to out-uncanny everyone. At the same time, part of the fun of the X-Men is the history.
Right.
It's the stories. It's these characters who have a lot of past together.
Right.
And it's complicated, it's multi-layered, and sometimes a good relationship, and sometimes it's bad, And that's something else that we looked at when we put this title together. Somebody like Spiral, I really wanted the book, not just because she's traditionally a villain, but her and Psylocke have a lot of tortured history together. And we're gonna make a real big mess out of that. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
And it's at the forefront, the whole Marvel Now initiative. Did you have a plan for work for hire work when it came along, or did it just kind of fall in your lap? Because with your self-publishing ventures, now you're working with Marvel and Ultimates and everything. Is it a big difference?
Well, it's a good question, because I do want to balance the work for hire stuff with the creator-owned stuff. But it's funny the way some people phrase that question, where they're like, how did you choose Marvel? Like I'm LeBron James, and I've got all these options, and the big decision, I was like, I wanted to work, and Marvel offered me a book, and I was down. That's how it happened. Yeah. And that was John Carter, and the relationship has been great, and it's been a lot of fun. And out of that, you see the Ultimates and now Uncanny X-Force, and it's definitely a balance. Though I love doing the work for hire stuff. I love working with Marvel. I love doing the superhero stuff, but I've also got my own books I love doing, like Higher Earth, Sacrifice. Sacrifice is coming back real soon. We got announcements coming up.
I'm waiting.
Oh,
I want it.
We are I won't say, but we are a lot further ahead than you might assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't assume, but
yeah.
all right.
Well, if you're trying to guess how far we are based on what is out right now,
Yeah.
we're a lot further ahead than that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah. So, Sacrifice is very near and dear to our hearts. It's probably my most personal book.
Right.
So we're not abandoning Sacrifice by any means.
Okay, good. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
And lastly, I mean, you started with when you were working on MySpace with marketing.
Oh, yeah.
And then you went to the self-publishing. I love marketing, and I know a lot of people in the comic book
Right.
industry. They
I love it.
got to take it upon themselves in many cases
Yeah.
just to get noticed.
Yeah.
Did a lot of the skills, that you took from MySpace carry over? Is there any thing that you learned that's just become like a golden rule as far as?
Boy, I learned a lot at MySpace, and that just in general, it's really handy if you are in comics, or I imagine any industry, to have knowledge from a different industry,
Right.
and be able to apply that. It's almost like your secret weapon. It's like the thing that nobody else has.
Yeah.
Everybody in comics knows, a lot about Batman, but not everyone in comic books knows a lot about social media and data-driven social media analysis and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Also, it was really helpful working in a corporate environment. I think it gives me more patience than perhaps most creators would have for working for a corporate company like a Marvel or a DC.
Right.
I just feel like I have a better understanding of how a company works, how business models work, how P&L works,
Right.
And how bottom line really is a bottom line. And it's not a cold, heartless thing, but that's just how companies work. If a company doesn't make money, there's no reason for it to be around. That's just the facts of capitalism. So, I just feel like I have a lot more patience for that kind of thing, and a lot more appreciation for what you can accomplish and things you can get away with within that framework. So. Yeah, the MySpace stuff was a lot of fun. It was a huge education, and just learning stuff in general from any other industry, any other discipline. I highly recommend to anyone out there trying to do comics, even if you just want to do creative stuff, study other mediums, go to a museum, take an art history course, all that kind of stuff, because comics can get so insular. That kind of knowledge will really put you on another level from everyone else.
I'm just glad to talk to you. I'm so
Hey
happy
man,
to
it's
see
great
where
to
you
see
are,
you in person.
Yeah,
for
right.
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
Internet. It's all internet and marketing and relations. That's
right.
what you work in.
Networking.
So, dude, enjoy the con.
Thank
enjoy
you, man.
everything
You
with
too.
Marvel now.
I
And
will,
thanks for talking
We'll
to me.
see you in
man.
a year. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
See where we are then.
Very cool.
Thanks for tuning in to GeekRest.com.